So like, bro, back to this issue of Orbit College not playing like their home game against Kaiser Chiefs within the province of Northwest, right? I think people are not like looking at the seriousness of this particular issue because you have to understand, bro, like an Orbit versus a Kaiser Chiefs, game, is a game that is obviously gonna sell out, right? And you have to understand that it always comes with economic, benefits. You feel me? Because now you have to think about it. Orbit College is a Northwest based club, right? Primarily based in Rustenburg, okay? And having Kaiser Chiefs in town or in the province of Northwest, right? It brings so much economic benefits to the people of Northwest. You understand what I'm saying? Because come on, it's Kaiser Chiefs. You understand? You guaranteed a full stadium. You guaranteed tickets being sold out. You also guarantee that small businesses are actually going to be able to make profit, which they don't often do at times. You understand what I mean? And even the like the government, the local government is actually going to benefit from this, right? But now you ask yourself a question, bro. Orbit College haven't. So there are some of their home games that they haven't played within the province of Northwest, and for me that's a massive concern because Northwest does have stadiums, bro. It's not like they're short of stadiums. They do have stadiums, but the reason why Orbit College haven't been able to utilize these particular stadiums that I wanted to give to you, this with regards to the fact that like these stadiums actually have a decent capacity, right, is due to poor governance, right? Poor maintenance, okay, and the fact that it's just like pure negligence. You feel me? So let's take for example, number one, Royal Bafokeng Stadium, right? Orbit College wanted to use the Royal Bafokeng Stadium as their home ground, right? But unfortunately, they cannot utilize it at this particular moment, right? Due to the fact that Royal Bafokeng is actually undergoing an upgrade. They want to upgrade that other stand, the east stand of the stadium, to suit a roof. They want to build a roof. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like an upgrade issue. And obviously, it was never going to be suitable for Orbit College to utilize the World Cup venue for their home games, due to the fact that, look, if a stadium is under renovation, it will obviously fail compliance temporarily and safety concerns and broadcast infrastructure might be incomplete. So often it's a completely unavailable stadium during that particular moment in time when it's going an upgrade or renovation, which is pretty much understandable, right? And then number two, bro, you have the Moruleng Stadium, right? I'm asking myself a question like, bro, the Moruleng Stadium is a decent venue, okay? But yeah, I can understand maybe why people will come with the argument and say that, okay, it is decent, but it has a smaller capacity and limited facilities, right? And obviously, it may not meet the league broadcast requirements like TV gantries, lighting lux levels, as well as media areas, okay? And maybe sometimes, the locker rooms and the security standards required for professional leagues might not be met. But Face, those are things that you can always work around, Face. Those are things that can always be fixed. You understand what I mean? Like, yeah, clubs don't just need a good pitch, they also need a stadium that uses strict licensing audits. But those are things that can always be rectified. Those are things that can always be fixed. So, for those of you all that have never heard of the Moruleng Stadium, let me educate you. Let me take you through a straight breakdown. The Moruleng Stadium is a multi-purpose sports venue located in Moruleng, which is a village in Pilanesberg in South Africa's Northwest Province. Basically, Pilanesberg is just like 37 kilometers outside of Rustenburg, okay? And it serves as a community hub for both sporting and as well as cultural events, and it was built to actually meet the standards ahead of the 2010 FIFA World Cup. But it was not actually utilized for any of the official games in the 2010 FIFA World Cup, if you understand what I'm saying. So, like, also think about it, bro. Moruleng Stadium actually has a 20,000 stadium capacity, right? And look at it, look at the bigger picture, bro. Beyond sports, this venue actually plays a role in actually stimulating local tourism and small business activity, right? So you look at the fact that look, the Moruleng Stadium is actually located near major attractions like the Pilanesberg National Park as well as the Sun City Resort. You understand, which often gets frequent visitors who just go there for holiday and who actually see those particular venues as a holiday destination. It even attracts international visitors. You understand what I'm saying? So that means that look, this stadium actually supports the region's broader strategy of actually linking sports, culture, as well as tourism to actually boost economic growth. So imagine a game of this magnitude between Orbit College and Kaiser Chiefs taking place there, bro. Imagine what that could have done for for the local economy. You understand what I'm saying? Instead, now the city of Gqeberha are the ones that are actually going to be benefiting of this, this particular clash. You know what I'm saying? And also considering the fact that Gqeberha always sees big games. Even the national team plays their games there. And you even ask yourself a question like, when was the last time the national team actually hosted their games at Rustenburg or in any other place in Northwest? You know what I'm saying? When was the last time, bro? When was the last time that the people of Northwest actually got to see Kaizer Chiefs, their favorite football club, actually playing there in the province? It's been a while. And now you denying them that opportunity. You denying the people of Northwest to see their favorite club. Now they have to travel a long distance to actually go watch Kaizer Chiefs playing in another province, which is like which is more than 1,000 kilometers away from where they live. You understand what I'm saying? Then you look at Olympia Park, right? Despite the fact that Olympia Park hosted the game between Orbit College as well as Mamelodi Sundowns, it wasn't meant to be the case because before that particular game, there was issues from the Mamelodi Sundowns representatives, right? They were complaining about the fact that, why did they choose to host a big game of this caliber at such a stadium? You understand what I'm saying? And which is understandable. But Orbit, on the other hand, you can't necessarily fault them because they actually didn't have much of a choice. It was basically a last minute situation, right? And you look at the ironic part about even Olympia Park Stadium, bro. Olympia Park Stadium is like, it has got a decent capacity also, bro. It's got a decent capacity, but the stadium is not in a good condition to be hosting games, especially PSL games. Because you look at the fact that like there's on the one stand of the stadium, that you can see that there's clear evidence that there's rust, there's structural wear, and there's unsafe stands, which is like a major red flag. You understand what I mean? And the fact that like, bro, these guys haven't been maintaining that particular venue, you even see that so much of the infrastructure is ailing. You understand what I'm saying? And even the partial closure of those sections can invalidate hosting approval, right? And renovation delays also are common due to funding issues at municipal level. But I know with the ANC government, bro, it's not even like, I don't think there's even like lack of funding. We know with the ANC government, bro, there's always been corruption. I know that they've been, blowing the money, misusing the funds, etc., etc. So safety compliance alone can actually rule out that particular stadium entirely, bro. And for me, even Olympia Park, could actually have the potential to host in future. It has the potential to even host a game of this magnitude due to the fact that they do have a decent, capacity. But if only you had a responsible local government who takes football very seriously and say, look, guys, let us renovate the stadium, let us upgrade the seats. You understand? Let's renovate it, let's maintain it, and make football actually playable here. You understand? But because the local government in the north, most of these northwest municipalities are so corrupt to the extent whereby you would think that, look, guys, these stadiums are not good enough to actually host PSL games, but they are. It's just that they're being poorly maintained due to like wasteful expenditure, to put it exact, bro. And then lastly but not least, dog, you look at Mabatso Stadium, right? This is the one stadium where, bruh, it will always be on our minds, bro. For all the right reasons, right? I mean, it's like, Joe, Mabatso Stadium is a big stadium, right? However, it hasn't been used to host a football game in many years, bro. I think it's been like over 3 decades since a football game last played at Mabatso Stadium, right? And you have to understand that Mabatso Stadium has a reputation for being poorly maintained over the years, right? And you think about the fact that why also Orbit College can't use it is maybe it's like there's a distance from Orbit's core fan base, which is in Rustenburg, right? But I wouldn't really consider that as a key factor due to the fact that, bro, it's still like Orbit College is the only club from the province of Northwest that is actually competing in the top flight. So I think, bro, them playing in any other part of Northwest will actually be beneficial to the people of Northwest and the Northwest province as a whole. You feel me? And also you got to look at the fact that like Mawatu Stadium, bro, why it cannot be used to host PSL games also is like the operational costs that go into it, like such as the security, staffing at a large venue can also be very high. And since it does not meet the PSL standards without upgrades, bro, it can never be utilized to host any PSL games. You understand what I'm saying? Therefore, despite the fact that it has got a capacity of like 60,000 people, hosting a game at a bigger venue doesn't always mean that like it's the better alternative, especially if it's costly and it's under maintained, right? So it begs the bigger situation whereby like clubs like Orbit College often end up like ground sharing outside of their province, like what they're doing right now when you look at their clash against Kaiser Chiefs, and they end up using approved stadiums that actually meet the league compliance even if they are far away from home. Because you think about it, bro, like now them having to face Kaiser Chiefs at a stadium which is like more than 1,000 kilometers away from like home is like, bro, it's pretty wild. But this situation is actually not unique to South African football, because we have seen that happening over the past over the years, bro. You understand what I'm saying? We've seen even Cape Town City playing their home games in Durban. You understand? We've seen it even with Stellenbosch having to play some of their home games in another province to actually meet the CAF requirements, right? So it's actually not unique, but bro, this is a situation that can actually be resolved, bro. It can actually be resolved, and it's that simple. Just maintain, upgrade it, and keep it like that, man. You understand what I'm saying? Because now this actually exposes the incompetence of the Northwest government as a whole.